I'm currently in the process of dechroming my 2022 Toyota Tundra. If you saw my last two uploads, we replaced the door handles and the window trim. In this video, we're going to replace the grille surround, and then in the next two videos, we'll do the tailgate handle and the rear bumper caps. The parts that we're using for this install come from RevMoto. I'll provide links to each of those products in the description below, as well as install videos for each of these various items. To remove the grille surround, we're gonna have to take off the whole front end of the truck here, these little side pieces, the whole grille and front bumper, and then the side pieces over on this end as well. Once we've got that off, then we'll be able to remove this grille surround from the back side, put the new one on, and then we'll put this back on the truck. So the first step is to pop the hood, and then we're gonna remove a few 10mm screws. Using our socket wrench, we've got 4 screws to remove. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we've got 2 electrical connections and a clip to remove on either side of the truck. We're gonna take a flathead screwdriver, or if you have a trim removal tool, pry that underneath, and then just pop up this centerpiece, pull it out. And then with our electrical connections, this black one, we're gonna push in on this piece right here, and that'll slide off. And likewise on this side, we push in here and slide that off. Now we do the same thing on the passenger side, 2 electrical connections and a clip down below. Go ahead and remove the clip first. Again, just pull up that centerpiece and pop it out. And then with our electrical connections, we've got one here, pushing on this piece, pop that out. And then on this one, same thing, just push in on this side and pull that out. Next, we have 4 10mm bolts to remove. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can remove these from the front if you've got a really long extension, or you can come from above or below. I'm gonna loosen the bolts from above, and then I'm gonna use an extension to go in from the front. We've got 4 more bolts to remove, all 10mm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, on each of the front wheel wells, we're going to be removing 4 more 10mm bolts. 4 on this side, 4 on the passenger side. Next, we're going to detach the fender flare from the body itself here. At least in the case of the passenger side of my truck, there's a lot of dirt that's hidden in here, so be prepared for that. We're gonna go ahead and just take a hand on either side of this and work our way up. There's a number of clips along the length of this that we're just gonna pop out, again, starting from the bottom here. So just gently pull back at the bottom until you hear a snap, work your way up. Do it just till we're disconnected here so that we can detach these 2 pieces. With this pulled back, we're gonna kind of pull the fender liner away so we can get a hand back behind here, and we're gonna gently pull out on this bottom piece to detach it from the top piece. Just like that, and then we're gonna work our way up this direction, again, very gentle as you go, to pop out those various clips. And now we're loose. Do the same thing on the passenger side, and we're ready to remove the whole front end. So both sides disconnected, we're gonna just gently pull this whole front end off the truck. There we are. So make sure you set the grill down on something that'll keep it from getting scratched. This next step is tricky. We've got a bunch of plastic clips that we've got to pop out, and it's really easy to break either this little tab or the clip itself. I know this because I did a similar install on my Tacoma previously, and I broke some clips in the process, so be very careful as you go. First, we've got some Phillips head screws to remove. We've got 1, 2, 3 on this side. On the other side, I've already removed them because I was kind of checking things out. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And then on the top of the grill, we've got 2 more to remove. 1, 2. So remove those, and then we'll get to the clips. With all the screws removed, we're ready to remove the trim pieces now, and the only thing that's holding them on is plastic clips. We're gonna remove the top trim piece first and then the bottom pieces. The reason for that is the bottom pieces are kind of tucked in under that top piece, so it's gonna be a lot easier to take off the top piece first. This is the new top piece that we're gonna be putting on, so we're able to look at the backside and kind of get an idea of where all the clips are that need to be removed. One thing worth noting with mine and yours, most likely if you've got a chrome grill as well, is that all of the tabs that you're pushing through should be chrome. And so you look over here on this side, we've got some black tabs. Those don't need to be removed. We're just focused on the chrome ones that go along the perimeter here. So we basically got one on the side here, we've got two on the angle, we've got four along the top, and then again on the other side, we've got two on the angle and one on the end. So we're gonna start over on this side on the little chrome clips, and we're gonna pop those through and work our way along the edge from one side to the other. Now you'll see I'm using this flathead screwdriver to kind of push these clips through. It is dangerous in terms of breaking the clips, but it is a good way to get the leverage you need to pop them through. So if you do it with caution. All right, that's all the clips. Got it off without any that are broken. Look at that. With the top trim piece removed, we're ready to remove the bottom side trim pieces. Just to help you orient yourself, this whole assembly is currently upside down to give me better access. Again, the clips we're removing are gonna be chrome or kind of silver like mine, none of the black clips. We've got two up here at the top, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the style of these clips is a little bit different than the top trim piece, and they're more susceptible to breaking. So you've got to be really careful. You'll see there's a little black tab that sticks out. That kind of pushes back a little bit, and then there's a little lip that catches in a hole on the silver piece. You've got to kind of push back on that and then push this through the hole. The black pieces are really easy to break, and these silver clips are also very easy to break. So if you're hoping to sell this aftermarket or something, or just hold on to it, you're gonna wanna do this with caution so that you don't break those. And then of course, more importantly, we don't want any of these black pieces to break, because that's what's gonna hold on the new trim piece when we get to it. So on these clips, you're not gonna do one at a time. You've got to kind of work in sequence and pop them all out together because they're so tight. If you pop this one out, you're probably gonna break it, and you're gonna have a hard time getting it otherwise unless you do like these two and these two all at the same time. So you're kind of gently pushing the whole thing out until you get these free. So push down on this little black piece, push the silver part out, and kind of work your way down the trim piece. Okay, so our top two are loose. So now we're ready to work our way down to the next set. And this little piece right here you can kind of push on too, helps you get better leverage than just pulling on the top like this hand is doing. All right, there we go. All right, I think we might be pretty well out. So we'll pull it through on this side, and there you go. We didn't break any of these clips either. Not bad. Now we're ready to put on the body colored trim piece. As you can see, it's a really nice color match to the factory paint. I can't tell any difference between the two. And we're gonna put on again the bottom trim pieces before the top. This step should be a lot easier than removal because we're just gonna line up all these clips, and once they're all lined up, we're just gonna secure it into place. They designed this to be a lot easier to build than to disassemble. So this step should be pretty easy. I think the main thing is we just want to make sure that all of these clips are lined up perfectly before we push it down, because you don't want half of them to secure and the other half to be loose. Then we're going to be popping them back out to put it back in. So that increases the chance of breaking clips. So we're just going to start down here at the bottom, make sure those clips are lined up appropriately. Do the same thing on the sides. Looks pretty good. Same thing at the top here. And once it looks good, we're just gonna start at the bottom, and we're gonna secure our way up to the top. With all those clips in place, we're gonna take our two Phillips screws that we removed earlier. We're gonna screw those in. And we've got one right here. All right, so repeat the process for both of those lower trim pieces, and then we're ready to put on the upper trim piece. I mentioned that there's a little bit of an edge right here that's got to slide over the top of this bottom portion. So make sure that you get that aligned appropriately, and then we're just gonna pop in all these clips along here. Just like on those lower trim pieces, we probably wanna make sure we have it all lined up pretty well before we start popping those into place, just to make sure that everything is lined appropriately. So with those aligned, we're gonna start at one end and just work our way down, popping each clip in as we go, down to this side. Next, on the back side, we've got 4 of these Phillips head screws we've got to put back in. We've got 1 down here on either side, so that's 2, and then we've got 2 on the top. All right, so now we're ready to put the front end back on. So we're gonna bring it in here, get everything aligned as best we can. I actually grabbed 2 of the 10mm screws that go up here on the top, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get those hand tight just to help me get everything in position and to keep this from dropping on the garage floor. So we'll do 1 on each corner here. And with those hand tight, we're gonna start on this side. We're gonna push this all into place, and we'll do the same thing on the passenger side. So we're just gonna gently kind of lift this up, get everything aligned nice and flush. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna make sure we're lined up on this side too, as much as we can. Everything looks nice and square. Push these all into place. Do the same on this side, starting at the top, and then we'll get down to the bottom. Should I grab this out first? Whoops. Okay, so we're gonna pop this back out so we can get that fender flare loose. Pull the fender flare around. All right, there we go. Now we can push this back into place. There we are. All right, looks pretty good. All right, so we can go ahead and push the fender flare back on. Do the same thing on the passenger side. All right, so now we're gonna put in these other 2 10mm bolts up here at the top. Next, on either side, we're gonna reconnect these electrical connections. And then we've got a clip to put back in, pull the head back, push it into place, and then pop that center down. We'll do the same thing on this side. Secure that into place, and this one. And then we've got our clip. Again, pull the head out, push it in, and then pop that down. Next, we've got these 4 10mm bolts that we're gonna secure to these mounting brackets through the grill. Again, we'll put these in most of the way going through, and then we'll probably tighten it from the top. Next, we've got to put these 4 screws back in on the inner fender liner on the driver's side as well as on the passenger side. Lastly, underneath, we've got 4 10mm bolts to reattach. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With that, the installation's complete and our new Grille Surround is on. It looks awesome, except for this Toyota emblem that really sticks out now. Might have to do something about that. And maybe I should have gone with a new Heritage grill too, but maybe that'll be in a future video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, or if it was helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And for more videos of the 2022 Toyota Tundra, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.